One, two, three.
Audio's going up.
Ready? Good afternoon, Fairfielders. This is First Selectwoman Brenda Kupchik, and it's been a long few months, and quarantine fatigue is wearing on all of us. I know that the Phase 1 reopening this week has given us all a little bit of hope, and I am very proud of our team here at Town Hall who have worked diligently to keep our residents safe and maintain a cautious approach to our decision-making. I am so happy that our restaurants can now allow customers for outdoor dining. Our business reopening task force has done an excellent job bringing together multiple town departments and turning around permits in 2 days or less. We've had 13 applications for outdoor seating areas and 15 for expanded areas. A list of opened retail shops and outdoor restaurants can be viewed at fairfieldct.org/reopened. After many months of being isolated and quarantined, many of us will venture out for the first time to enjoy our beautiful beaches, parks, and eat out at one of our outdoor spaces in town. I ask that you please do so responsibly and follow our public health protocols. We had a soft opening of our beaches earlier this month for our residents only. For the most part, it has gone very well. I want to emphasize that no matter where you are in public, if you cannot keep a 6-foot distance from those outside of your immediate household, you should be wearing a face covering. It is for the safety of all of us. As you may have read in my newsletter this past week, beginning tomorrow morning, the town is moving from passive recreation at the beaches for residents to now be able to stay at the beaches with blankets and chairs and coolers. But there will be no grilling. The concessions will be open with strict social distancing guidelines, and face coverings must be worn. Blankets should be separated by 15 feet of space. Lifeguards will be on duty to open all beaches from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. There will be signs at the beach reminding residents of these guidelines. For now, the restrooms will remain closed as we wait further guidance on cleaning protocols. We have brought in more porta-johns for the expected increase of visits this holiday weekend. Per the governor's executive order, all social and recreational gatherings of more than 5 people are prohibited. I have received numerous questions from residents, such as, what if my family is larger than 5? The town of Fairfield's position is that if your immediate household is larger than 5, for instance, a family with 4 children, you are certainly able to go to the beach and town spaces together. Our police would not enforce a rule such as that. Parking at beaches remains for residents only with a valid 2020 beach sticker. You can check parking availability online before you leave your house. This is important. I don't want people to be disappointed when they get there, because we are restricting the amount of people so that everyone can maintain a safe social distance on the beach. Please check www.fairfieldct.org/parking capacity before you head out to the beach. Tennis courts are open except for Tomlinson, which will be under construction soon. Athletic fields and parks will also be open tomorrow, but no organized sports will be permitted. Any team sports of gathering of more than 5 is going against our governor's executive order. I want to emphasize that playgrounds also still remain closed. The governor has mentioned that team sports may be included in his Phase 2 plan, which he expects to roll out around June 20th. The date is all dependent on the results of Phase 1. Once we have more information, the emergency management team, which includes our health director and our emergency management director, will make a decision on how to proceed. For further details on town openings, please visit fairfieldrecreation.com. I unfortunately have some news to share that we're going to have to be canceling our 4th of July fireworks. We were holding out some hope that we might be able to put them on, but given the gathering order from the governor, we don't see how it would be possible. I know this is a tradition our residents look forward to each and every year, and I am also personally saddened to have to cancel it. I hope that this summer we will be able to hold a town-wide celebration in its place when it is safe to do so. In changing gears a bit, I also want to take a moment to provide an update on our COVID-19 relief fund. Over $50,691 has been approved for local residents in need of financial assistance. And as a result of COVID-19, I want to thank all our donors and the committee who had worked so hard to collect and distribute these funds. The fund is still open for donations at fairfieldct.org/COVID Relief Fund. And you can also apply there as well. In closing, let us not forget the reason for this holiday weekend. Memorial Day is the unofficial beginning of summer. But more importantly, it is the day we as a nation have set aside to mourn and remember those who have fell on the field of battle in defense of our nation and the freedoms that we as Americans hold dear. Unfortunately, we are unable to hold our traditional Memorial Day parade this year because of the ongoing public health crisis. But that does not mean we will forget the sacrifices that were made and what this holiday is all about. Since the founding of our nation, nearly 1 million American service members have both died at home and abroad. They've left behind loved ones and friends and gave up their lives for each of us. This is what makes this sacrifice the ultimate one. It was made selflessly and so that we may live our lives in peace and enjoy prosperity. I hope you will take time to honor them this weekend. I ask that you keep all of them, all of those who gave their lives for our country and their families in your thoughts and prayers this weekend, after all they have done for us. I will now turn this over to Sands Cleary, the Director of our Health Department. And in closing, we will also send out a newsletter with all of the links mentioned in the video for this press conference.
Thank you. I'm Sands Cleary from the Fairfield Health Department. Over the last several weeks, our area continues to see declines in COVID hospitalizations, in the rate of new cases being reported, the rate of deaths, and in the percentage of total tests coming back positive. All these factors and others confirm that there is less presence of the virus in our area at this time. In addition, the CDC this week indicated that the virus does not spread easily from touching surfaces or objects, that transmission is primarily from person-to-person contact. This further stresses the need for social distancing and mask use as we move forward with reopening and resuming some activities. In the past 7 days, there have been 49 new cases reported in Fairfield, and sadly, this past week, our town experienced and has now exceeded the 100th COVID-associated death. Residents, employers, and employees participating in these new activities and opportunities should be fully aware of and accept this change in their individual risk. We are still recommending that those who are over the age of 65 or who have health conditions, that you continue to stay home and stay safe as much as possible. We ask that if you choose to dine out at an outside seating area at Fairfield Restaurant, that you wear a mask except when you're eating or drinking, that if your family goes to one of our great beaches, that you keep 15 feet between your family and other groups, allowing for 6 feet on each side of your group and a 3-foot walkway in between each of the groups, and that you wear masks when you may be less than 6 feet from each other. That if you go to a store, that you wear a mask and stay 6 feet from each other as much as possible, and that if you go have a catch or kick a ball or toss a frisbee at one of our local fields, that you continue to practice social distancing and wear masks at all times when you may be less than 6 feet from each other. Or when you go out and get a haircut, for those of you who need those things, this will now be allowed on June 1st, and you can make an appointment We ask that you wait in your car until you're called and that you wear a mask when you're inside. As you and your families enjoy these new opportunities, we ask that you continue to keep yourself and your fellow community members safe by adhering to these social distancing requirements. Thank you. And now we have Chief Denis McCarthy.
Thank you, Stans. My name is Denis McCarthy. I am the Fire Chief and Emergency Management Director for the town of Fairfield. Today marks 12 weeks since the emergency management team began its work to prepare the community for the pandemic and then to respond to the many challenges that we face together. Our community has responded very well and adhered to the guidelines. A quick trip to the grocery store or hardware store proved that most of our residents are following the requirements for face coverings and physical distancing. Thank you. As the wonderful assets of our town reopen, we ask residents to be respectful of the restaurant and shop staff as well as the town employees who are working to make those options available. They have been in some degree of social isolations just as you have, and now as they return to work at restaurants, shops, and beaches, they are concerned about their own health and safety. Be patient and respectful as they work to provide you services and most of all, respect their need for safety by wearing face coverings and observe 6 feet of social distancing. Transmission of COVID-19 continues and new cases are reported every day. Please do not assume that because the community is taking its next cautious steps in our reopening that all danger has passed. It has not. In the past 7 days, 44 new COVID cases were reported in Fairfield. Face coverings and social distancing remain important tools for you and your family, as well as for the safety of the restaurant and shop employees you may come in contact with in the coming weeks. The emergency management team has done extraordinary work in our collective response to the pandemic. I want to thank them for their efforts. In addition to emergency response, the COVID-19 Relief Fund is helping the neediest of our residents cope with the loss of jobs and income. Operation Hope and the Senior Center, with support of many volunteers, including our Civilian Community Emergency Response Team, or CERT, are collecting and distributing food as well. Our Business Reopening Task Force has assisted dozens of restaurants establish or expand their outside dining. The task force is working to assist all local businesses reopen and return to profitability. We have distributed over 7,000 masks to 1,700 businesses, and beginning this weekend are distributing 500 thermometers to help them reopen safely. There are many residents and businesses who are anxious to get back to normal and feel we are moving too slow. There are also many who feel we are moving too quickly. I want to reassure every resident that we continue to be guided by science and the health professionals as we prudently and carefully make decisions on details of reopening. We follow the CDC guidance and the state of Connecticut executive orders. Where local discretion is allowed, a cost-benefit analysis is made by a number of seasoned professionals to strike the right balance. Each week, additional restrictions are lifted, and we are optimistic for the future. We thank you for your input in the process, your encouragement, and your respectful opinions. We are a community that is in the process of recovery from this pandemic. Continue hand washing, face coverings, and physical distance, and we will make this recovery safe and successful. Thank you, and let me introduce Chief Chris Lyddy.
Thank you, Chief, and good afternoon. As we enter Phase 1 of the Governor's reopening plan, I would like to remind all Fairfield residents that the Fairfield Police Department remains fully staffed and operational and ready to serve the residents of Fairfield in whatever capacity is needed. As beaches in town begin to reopen, we remind residents to maintain proper physical distancing by limiting groups to no more than 5 people and keeping 15 feet between groups. We will have extra police presence at all our open beaches to ensure residents are following these important guidelines. We will also be assisting Parks and Recreation staff as the town prepares to reopen some of the athletic fields and other recreational facilities. Traffic and parking enforcement will also be increased at facilities and lots throughout our town to ensure that the reopening process runs as smoothly and safely as possible for all residents. We ask that everyone adhere to the parking permit regulations that are now in place. This reopening is only the first step towards a more complete reopening plan outlined by the governor. We look forward to more facilities and services reopening in the coming weeks and months, both in Fairfield and throughout the state. In the meantime, we wish all residents a safe Memorial Day weekend, and thank you for your continued patience and consideration during these difficult times. Thank you.
And just in closing, I just want to thank everyone on our emergency management team. We've all been working, and as Chief McCarthy just mentioned, it's been 12 weeks. It feels longer, but it's been a long time, and I just want everyone to know that our town government has really stepped up, and we have amazing people who work as first responders and in our town halls, trying to continue to provide service for our town, and we are going to be reopening our town government a bit more starting next week. So I just want to make sure that everyone checks our website, and also if you have questions while this is on, many people are posting on social media questions. It's not really we can't really monitor every single comment on social media. It's just impossible. We are working a lot here at Town Hall. My entire team, my entire administration is here every day. So please email me directly at firstselectwoman@fairfieldct.org if you do have questions, so that we can be responsive to you. There is a ton of information on the Park and Rec site and on the town website, on the health department's website. So please take a look at those things, and also feel free to email us. Please have a wonderful Memorial Day weekend, and remember to take a moment to honor those who gave their lives for us, and have a safe Memorial Day weekend. God bless.